So please, once again, welcome Mads Mikkelsen to the stage.
Tackar. Ja, jakten. Men ni har sett den förut? Och ni såg den igen. Tackar.
So, congratulations again to your Honorary Dragon Award.
Thank you.
Thank you for the extraordinary performance that we have just seen in this film. The Hunt is like Jonas said earlier, it's really a film that you can easily see more than once, and you discover new things all the time. It's very rich. So I just want to start to, what does this film mean to you? It was important has been really important in your career.
Well, on one level it's been important in the sense that, well, we won in Cannes, and when I say we, I mean we won, because Thomas Vinterberg, who directed the film, he was expecting a baby. He was not having a baby, but he was expecting. And so he had to go home. And there was some rumors that we might get something. So I had to stay behind. And I was preparing the speech on behalf of Thomas, because I was sure the film was getting something, and I was not listening to the ceremony. And all of a sudden it was the best actor, and then they said my name, and I was seriously, not even pretentiously, I was so surprised. And I had, on the 10 seconds I walked up the stairs, I had to prepare a speech on my behalf. And it didn't work, because I just said thank you to Thomas. Thomas. And I think you cannot be good in a film that is mediocre. He's a genius, and I think he made a wonderful script together with Tobias. For me, when I read the script, it was just so beautiful, so heartbreaking. I wanted to scream. I wanted to hit someone when I read it. But I was so intrigued by it, and let's make this film, and let's make the audience feel the same way. So it was just one of these rare situations where you get offered something and you can lean into it, and don't do too much, don't do too little, just be, because the film was doing the work.
So I
did not answer your question, actually.
No, I think you did.
It meant a lot to me.
Yeah,
it meant a lot. Listen, I got the award, and then instead of having all like baddies or villains like from Hollywood, I got drama offers as well. So it was a big change in my life.
Yeah, and it was also Oscar nominated.
It was very much Oscar nominated.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if we got it. We didn't get it. That's right.
No. But being Oscar nominated is always good.
It's fantastic, and it was brutal not to get it, because I think we deserved it. I think that Thomas deserved it. Yeah.
So, but let's. I'm planning a bit of like a 30 minutes walk down memory lane, like down your remarkable career. So far, we can't really stop everywhere, because you have done around 35 movies. Can you imagine?
I have no.
And 3 TV series. So I just want to say that we will talk about 25-30 minutes, and we will have a little space for like 3 or 4 questions afterwards from the audience. So please prepare what you would like to ask.
If there are small questions, we can have 10.
Okay. Or big. It's like you want. But let's start this journey here in Gothenburg. Like
yes.
Jonas said, you were some 30 years ago, you were a young dancer at the Ballet Academy. You didn't stay long though.
No,
you returned to quite swiftly back to Copenhagen.
Yeah.
And then you ventured into experimental theater. Together with a whole generation of the hottest Danish actors today.
Yeah, we were not hot at the time, but we were young.
So tell us a little bit about the young man that you were at the time and how you ended up in the groundbreaking Pusher in 1996.
To make it speedy, I was, as a kid, I was a gymnast. Do you know what a gymnast is? Oh, sorry. That's because in Swedish it's called something else when you do touring. Is that what you call it? No. That's Finland, sorry. Anyway, so I was a gymnast, and through gymnastic, I was asked, together with a couple of other guys, to be in the background of a musical and do some acrobatics and then a few dancing moves. And the choreographers thought I had a certain talent for that, so she asked me if I wanted to be a dancer, and I had nothing really to do, so I said, yeah, let's do that. And there was not a lot of boys around and a lot of women around, so I said, yeah, let's do that. So it was kind of a Billy Elliot history. You know, I was from a working class place, and I couldn't tell my friends that I was a dancer. Eventually, when I told them the story about, there's a lot of girls in there. They all wanted to try to be dancers. So through dancing, I figured out that I was a little more in love with the drama of dancing than the aesthetic of dancing. And then I did more and more little theater things, and I said, oh, that's fun. And maybe I should do drama full time, so I applied for a drama school. So far, so good. And then, on my third year, out of 4, Nicholas was doing this Pusher film, and he did not want any actors in his film. No actors. He hated actors. And then somebody said, but there is this guy who's in drama school, and nobody understands what he says. And that was true. I was from this working class area, and I hadn't really got rid of the fast-speaking working class accent, can we say. And he watched me, and he laughed so much, and he had no idea what I said. So I said, you want to be part of the film? Yeah, I want to be part of the film. And we did that film. At that time, I was a big fan of Martin Scorsese and everything that happened in the 70s and 80s, and so was he, and so was everybody else. And that had never happened in Danish movies before. So we were like a large group of young, or slightly young, people who thought it was about time that we changed Danish film. And he did that with Pusher. And so that's where it all started. And we had no idea what we did, but we went for it.
And for some years you were really a sort of a poster boy for a great Danish wave under the whole dogma movement. And for example, my personal favorite movie, which in Swedish it's called Älska dig för evigt.
Yeah, Älska dig för evigt, Open Hearts in English.
Made by Susanne Bier. So, what do you miss about from that time and that kind of cinema?
I don't miss anything from there because I think it's still around in Danish cinema. I think that it happened, and we never abandoned it. We're still working like that. Thomas Vinterberg, Susanne Bier, Lone Scherfig, they're all working in the same field from the same base. But it was a pure time where we're like, people are watching us. They think we're someone, right? And so that was a certain kind of pressure. At the same time, we were like, nah, we'll do whatever we want to do. You know? And I think that's the most important thing for filmmakers today, regardless of being in love with the dogma philosophy or something else. You have to make your film. This is your film. It cannot be those 20 producers behind your back. Make your film. If it doesn't work, you're to blame. If it works, you're the hero. But don't try to satisfy everyone in the room, because you will end up satisfying no one. That's what the dogma thing was all about.
Absolutely, it was really personal.
It was always personal, yeah.
Cinema.
And I think we're riding on that wave now, and obviously Swedish film and Norwegian films are taking over now, and so be it. That's the way it should be.
It is. But after that, period. You have done many things, among others, a Bond villain, obviously, in Casino Royale, a one-eyed Viking, Super Viking, in Valhalla Rising, a dissident doctor in A Royal Affair, a revengeful cowboy in The Salvation, and not to mention a cannibalistic psychiatrist in Hannibal.
I thought that would happen. I saw a few flower crowns down there. Do we have some Hannibals in here? Right. So you left your flower thingy? Oh, you got that one. Can I just mention before you go on? So, embrace yourself. If you're a fan of the show called Hannibal, you will call yourself a Hannibal. And they normally wear these little flower crowns. You can see them all over. Yeah, that's one. I saw it when I came in.
I didn't know.
No, it's I don't know the origin of the story, but it's beautiful. You can always recognize you guys. Yep, shoot.
Yeah, and that's what I mentioned is really a wide range of characters and different genres. And my question is, it goes a little bit back, but at what point do you think that you found your own style in acting?
I think I have to ask Max von Sydow about that, because if you ask Max von Sydow today, he would say, I'm still looking for it. You know? I'm a very big fan of it. But that's the thing, we are always in doubt. We will always be searching, looking. You can ask me all the questions, I'll say, that was a day, that was a day. When did you find the day that you knew it was right what you did? We don't. And the doubt is very important. We have to ask ourselves questions every day. We wake up with questions, we go to sleep with questions. So it's not happened yet. But if Max has a good advice, I'll listen to it.
But you have never worked with him.
I have worked with him once.
You have?
Yeah. Not really, but we did the Mumitron, isn't it? So they decided to make a recapture of the old 60 films, the animated films, and they wanted to have a new voiceover on it, and it should be Scandinavian actors speaking English with their funny accents. So Max was playing Mummy Dad, and I was playing Sniff. We never met, but I'm at least I'm in a film with Max von Sydow.
So, just to elaborate on this question, so this might be a bit difficult, but at this point, what kind of acting and what kind of roles are you looking for?
I don't look for certain roles. I don't have a little Hamlet inside of me. I'm not like, oh my God, I'm gonna play Hamlet. No, it's been done before, it's been great, and there's no reason to do that. When a director has a vision and an idea and a beautiful script, and that becomes my vision, and that becomes my new favorite project, it becomes my ideal project. Very early in my life, I decided that, you know, I don't have a goal in my career. The career I can't plan my career. If I try to plan it, I will always be disappointed. But if I make all these things I do the stepping stones, the most important thing in my life, then at least it's worth it. So that's how I'm working. So whatever comes my way will become my new favorite project.
But when you read a script, what is it normally that tick your boxes?
It can be a variety of different things. It can be, it can break my heart. It can make me laugh. I can envision myself as a little boy doing flying kung fu. It can be a lot of different things. I mean, because I often get the question. I never get the question in America, but if I go to Europe, I always get the question: what's the difference between European cinema and American cinema? Funny enough, they never ask that. And I always say, well, I don't know. I mean, there is a difference, but we're still making films, you know. I grew up not watching French films.
French films?
No, I didn't. I didn't watch Danish dramas. I'm a dramatic actor, yes. But I grew up watching people doing crazy things, like Bruce Lee.
Yeah, I know you're a big Bruce Lee fan.
And so there's still this little tiny boy inside of me who's in love with that world. So I don't want to pick. I don't want to say, I only want to do this, I only want to do that. I want to do all of it. Mm-hmm. And I think most actors are like that, but they're not brave enough to say it.
So, but I think that quite a few people, anyway, here you want to know the difference between doing an European film and doing like this big blockbuster Hollywood movies that you have done, like Star Wars or Doctor Strange. Or
yeah, the biggest difference is that if you do a film in Sweden, you will say good morning to 40 people. And in America, you will say good morning to 2,000 people. And that's the enormous difference. I mean, the work you can do on a smaller budget Swedish film is obviously you will stay together for 3 weeks, you will talk about this, you will sleep, you will wake up, and you will talk again. That doesn't happen in America. But you can still have those conversations in a smaller scale. So for us as actors, it's all about making this intimate. If you do a scene with Daniel Craig in a Bond film, make it intimate. Forget about all these people, this giant set. Make it intimate. And they're open and free to say, yeah, we want that. But you can't change everything, of course. It's a different world. Yeah.
So it's a question of scale and...
It is predominantly a question of scale. It is also a question of how many producers have you breathing down your back, you know. So in Sweden you will have one producer who will give you some advice. In America you will have 200 producers and they will give you 200 advices. And again, we go back to the idea I just said, like if you try to satisfy everyone, you will satisfy no one. But that's the big difference. Yeah.
But let's talk about some practicalities. When do you still audition for your parts, or?
I haven't done it for a while, but it happens. People predominantly, if they want me to audition, they have already seen what I've done. So it's always about what is the chemistry between two actors, and I think that's fair enough. If the chemistry is completely off and you have to work together for 4 years, it's a no-go, right? So I think that's fair enough, but I hate auditions. I mean, in my younger days, I loved them, and I think auditions are priceless. We have to have them because young actors get a chance to show who they are. But it's so difficult to give life to a character in 3 minutes, and you know it's going to be on screen for 100 minutes, right? So it's a little unfair. But
and you're standing in an office.
Standing in an office, there's a dragon and a chopper, and that's not really a chopper, and you don't have a gun, and you just go with your finger, bang, bang. It's not really cool. You feel like an idiot. Right?
So in like 3 or 4 years, 3 or 4 different films, you have worked with a special little eye problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you remember the Casino Royale, the role Le Chiffre, he had a problem with his eye and he was crying blood.
Yeah.
And then in Ballet Rising, you had an eye problem, and in this Netflix movie that you're in now, you have another thing with the left eye. So with your left eye.
3 Musketeers.
And 3 Musketeers, of course. It's 4.
And Adam's Apples.
Even more.
I don't know. I hope it's a coincidence. The reason why it's the left eye is because my right eye is much better than my left eye. So that's why it goes there. Yeah, my fault. Why is that happening? I don't know. Nobody asked me why I've been driving a car for 30 times in the film. No. You always drive a car. Yeah, it's a car. I don't know why. I mean, if you want to make a drastic difference in a person's face, you will go to the eye, because it's obviously the idea of like the one-eyed guy is the one who's the smartest in the room, Odin, Secondly, it looks cool. If you do something at the lip, which I've tried a few times, everybody goes, it's gross, I don't want to watch that. So finally we took the real drastic step in Men and Chicken. I don't know if anyone's seen that. We did a big hair lip going into the nose. And not a lot of people like that either, so I stuck with the eye.
The eye, yeah. And it's very defining, at least for Le Chiffre. It gives him such an ability.
For all the characters. But you're right, I tend to have something with that eye. I don't know, can't answer it.
Okay, so let's move on. In Bleeder, you reunited with Nicholas Winding Refn, and you played a movie-obsessed video clerk. So my question is, do you watch a lot of movies yourself? And what kind of cinema is inspirational for you?
I didn't play a movie nerd, I played Nicholas Winding Refn. This is how he is. He's always seen himself as quite charming and really good with the girls. And when he wrote the script, I was like, no, Nicholas, we have to change these scenes. We have to make it awkward when you talk to a girl. I'm in with you when we watch all the films. I mean, I basically played Nicholas. Do I watch a lot of films? I watched a lot of films when I was a kid. And I said before, it was Charles Bronson, it was horror films, it was Bruce Lee, it was all the stuff you're not supposed to see, you know. But I loved it. It was a world, I just dived into that world, and I didn't want to be an actor, I just wanted to be that character, which every good film should make you feel like. What was the question?
That if you draw inspiration from movies.
Well, you have to divide it up into certain periods of your life. So as a kid it was one thing. I was also a comic book freak. Later on in life, I discovered Martin Scorsese, and he changed my entire perspective of what it is to be a filmmaker or be in a film or make films. Because I was watching...
Like Taxi Driver or Mean Streets?
I don't like Taxi Driver. I love Taxi Driver.
Of course.
For me, it's the most important film in my life. It's not necessarily the best film in the world, but it's up there. I'm watching a guy I don't like. And then 5 minutes later, I like him. And then 5 minutes later, I don't like him. And he was just constantly playing around with my emotions, right? And I left the movie theater going like, what the fuck happened? You know? Well, he was not giving me an answer. And I think that is exactly what films can do. It can give you a dilemma and not give you an answer. That's clever filmmaking. So that was a big game changer for me. Later on I watched a lot of other films, but I still go back to Taxi Driver because of the combination of De Niro and Scorsese. I think it's a masterpiece.
But nowadays?
What do I watch today? I don't watch a lot. There's a certain obstacle being an actor and watching films, because you tend to watch things you shouldn't watch. You know, you tend to watch for details that will destroy it for you. I mean, it's very difficult to just sit back and lean back and enjoy it. But if I eventually sit back and enjoy it, I know this film is good. The second I look at the pointed feet in a ballet, something is wrong.
So if you get the illusion,
if you flow in there, and you just become absorbed with the film, it's a good signal.
But have you watched film with your kids?
Yeah, lots of kids. I mean, lots of kids. No, lots of films. Yes, I mean, obviously, there is a love story I never had when I was a kid. I'm watching all the Walt Disney films. That is like, obviously, we don't like the Walt Disney. We like the Japanese films. No, watch Bambi, watch Jungle Book. It's fucking amazing, you know. And watching your kids just sitting there, like hypnotized, just watching the screen, going, wow. And then 10 minutes later, you turn on the TV and you have this Disney Channel where it's like bang, 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 cut, and they leave. They don't want to watch it. So the old Disney films are miracles, I would say. I'm very nostalgic. I love singing in the rain as well.
So another speaking about the eye, another common denominator in some of your films might be food.
Food.
Food. Tony in Pusher, the young drug dealer that you played, he was a really bad eater. He had, you know, the scene in the restaurant when he puts the fingers in the food. And,
yeah, that's the first film, though.
The first Pusher.
The second one, I do eat 15 hot dogs.
Yeah.
Drink 15 Coca-Colas and chocolate milks as well.
So, but on the other hand, mentioning Hannibal,
right.
In his special way, he's a true foodie.
Yeah, he's a foodie.
Yeah. So my question is, has your attitude towards food changed since you played Hannibal?
Yes. No, I don't know how to answer that one. I do enjoy food as much as my neighbor, kind of, but I'm not a foodie, right? But I have to pretend I am, and to be honest, I'm not a good chef. I'm really good at chopping things, you know, really fast, chop everything fast, it looks good. But I don't know the amount of spices you have to put in, so I normally don't invite people over for dinner. That came out wrong.
You don't serve a nice chef.
I do Thai food, Asian food, I can do that, because it involves a lot of chopping.
I heard a story that when you were doing Hannibal, you had a chef coming in and doing the same dishes, but not with the human food.
we had a chef non-stop that was doing the exact dishes without the human flesh. And so we had a meat version and we had a pasta version for the vegetarians. And lo and behold, nobody ate the pasta version. Everybody loved the real one. And I had a few times, especially with Lawrence Fishburne, twice we had the foie gras. And it was so good that we deliberately fucked up some of the lines. Like, oh, sorry, we're gonna do it again. And we were eating it was so fucking good. But I was not the chef, that's true. Disappointing.
Let's go into, talk a little bit about, it's not really the latest film, but one of the latest films, the Arctic, that was screened here in this theater earlier today. It's a survivalist drama, could you say? And it's only you, a lot of snow, and some raw fish.
And Maria.
Maria, she doesn't have a lot of lines.
She has some important ones, though.
She do. But this is really this must have been a real tour de force. And, so were you reluctant to do the part, and how challenging was it?
I wasn't reluctant at all. I love the story. I saw a survival film in front of me, but I also saw a film about humanity, about the difference of surviving and being alive, the importance of somebody holding your hand and you get very, very strong enough that you can move on, and the importance of somebody holding your hand and you get strong enough to give up and lie down and die. I thought that was a story, and then I kind of erased from my mind that we were going to shoot it in Iceland and it's going to be tough. So when we landed there, I realized, okay, here we go, it's going to be tough. But for me, that was the basic story, not the survival drama, was like just a framework for the actual film.
And it was shot in
Iceland.
And how did the fish taste like?
The fish was awesome. I mean, the fish was it's like the best sashimi you can ever get. It's in Iceland, and we were not allowed to kill the fish on screen. So it's ironic, every time I kill a fish, we go, cut. And then after that, I could kill it, and I could eat it. It's 2019. But anyways, it tasted fantastic. and but it was not enough protein and not enough calories to sustain the film, because we were losing so much weight, not only me, the whole crew. We were working 15, 16 hours a day, and there was just not enough time to eat that much. So it's a brutal shoot.
And you can see that in the film. You look skinny.
I look a little skinny, yeah. But I don't have that shower scene, so you can see it for real.
So, last question before we bring in the audience. You have just recently been an executive producer on a film for the first time, Polar, a Netflix drama directed by the Swedish director Jonas Åkerlund.
Yep.
So is this a direction that you would like to pursue in the future?
No. The executive producer thing, I had no idea about that until the last day of shooting, actually. It's apparently something you do when you have agents, like they put it into a contract. I had no idea it was there.
Okay.
So I'm still figuring out what that means exactly. Maybe I'm gonna get a big bill later.
Mean more money, or?
Or the other way around, yeah.
So if you're not going into the producer business, so what could we expect from you in the future, in the near future?
Well, in the near future, we are planning to do a film together, me and Thomas again, who just did The Hunt. It's an ensemble film. It's about the beauty of drinking alcohol, and it's a mix of a drama and a comedy, and hopefully it's going to be heartbreaking and also quite funny. That's all I can say.
Expecting to see that one.
Yeah.
So, we have any questions? Yeah, go on.
Thank you for two wonderful films I've just seen today.
Thank you.
In the last one, The Hunt, sometimes the audience or individuals can't see the difference between the actor and the character. After the film was first screened, did any people treat you as if you were the character?
Could everybody hear that question? The difference between the actor and the character was hard to see in the end. And did anyone treat me differently for that reason, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much so.
Not that it's hard to see, but some people...
Yes, I would say, I remember when I was watching, there was a TV show called Two Brothers. I think it was called something else. It was Nick Nolte and somebody else, a TV show. And I remember there was a guy called Falconetti in the show. Do you remember that? Yeah. Everybody hated him. He couldn't walk on the streets, you know. I think we're past those days. I think people realize that we're doing fiction. But to a degree, you're right, because my agent in America said, don't do it. Don't go down that path. Don't play a pedophile. That is not a pedophile, because everybody's going to remember you as the pedophile. Don't play a gay guy. You know, and so on and so on. And it was like complete insane for somebody coming from Scandinavia to think like that. Because I didn't play a pedophile. I played somebody who was accused. And if I play a gay guy, so fucking what? You know. But that's how they still think over there. And so I got a lot of warnings from that. I'm super glad I didn't listen to them, because I think it's a beautiful and wonderful film. But that's what we're facing sometimes.
Earlier on you said that when you were a child, I think, when you were going to ballet school, that your friends were reluctant about you.
I wasn't a child, I was like 19. I was like a big version of Billy Elliot.
Okay, so when you were a younger man, your friends were reluctant about you wanting to become a dancer.
Right.
What I really find fascinating about you as an actor seems to be that there doesn't seem to be any you being frightened of vulnerability or showing men to be vulnerable on screen. And nowadays there's a lot of discussion about female representation, you know, due to Me Too and how are they allowed to be dressed or not dressed, and all these kind of questions. And there don't seem to be a lot of questions about masculinity. And is this something that you think about? Do you think about how you're representing manhood on screen, or even as someone who's a celebrity?
I hear you, and I understand what you're saying. As long as a white heterosexual man is not a minority, I don't think we have to worry about that, right? That's the thing. The whole thing is right now an identity war, identity battle, and I'm not interested. It's simply, I think it's a waste of money, it's a waste of time. I think it's creating a war we don't want. We want each other to be individuals. We want to have men, women, straight, gay, black, yellow, we don't give a shit. We want them to be persons and not be part of a group, you know? So I don't think about that. I mean, if the character takes me that way, that's the way it takes me. If it takes me a different way, that's the way it takes me. I think everybody should think like that and not worry too much about being part of a strong group that is being oppressed. Was that the question, or I'm just elaborating?
It's rather more because earlier you said that your friends were questioning your decision.
Yes, they were. I mean, yes, I get you. Yeah.
Very manly.
They didn't really question it, to be honest. I was the one questioning it. I was the one a little nervous of telling them for certain reasons. I mean, this is in the 80s. Like, oh, can I really say this? Can I tell them that I'm a dancer? Will they think something of me that I'm not? Do I have the balls to tell them that I want to dance? You know. So obviously, that was not really a big thing. I mean, there was people having much more serious problems than me. So I was reluctant, yeah. But once I told them, they were all like, "Cool, man! I want to be a dancer as well." You know. So it wasn't a big issue. I'm not sure I'm answering your question though.
Well, I'm just wondering if if you go into rehearsals for a film like The Hunt, for example,
Right.
do you think about what sort of a man, as in not just a character, but like what sort of representation of a man do I give? Because, for instance, this film, there was a lot about fatherhood, and also it was it felt very patriarchal in a way, like the women kind of, were mothers that wanted to like keep their kids safe, and they were sort of accusational a lot of the time, but it felt like it was all about the decisions the man made and stuff like this. So,
well, pretty much my best friend has a wife that is like she's the one who's wearing the pants, right? She's the one who's deciding where we go. She's the one telling her husband, "Don't see him, don't go there, let's do this." No, I am not part of that world. I dive into the character I think is right for this film. I'm not aware of sending a message about whatever we want to change the world. I just want to be honest to the character and the story. And I think actually, to circle around, I think I actually answered that in the beginning. The more we can be honest to ourselves and the situation, the further we can get. The less we will have identity wars between each other. I think that's what I want to say.
So, the last question to you.
You have said that you work with the ballet classes here in Göteborg. What do you take from that when you act nowadays?
What do I take from the ballet classes I took in my younger days? Well, not the money, obviously. I didn't make any money. Dancers have a certain stamina, and they have a discipline that actors do not have. It does not exist. Actors do not have discipline. And I was blown away the first time I went onto a theater stage and made my first job. I was there 5 minutes before. Everybody was 15 minutes late with a cup of coffee and a cigarette. They wanted to chit chat. Let's go down there. It's like, what the fuck's going on? No discipline at all. So I think that dancers have discipline and stamina. and they also like, they understand that they are an individual, but they're also part of a major plan. You know, the more I can fit into this plan, the better the plan is. And sometimes actors can be a little too narcissistic, and they don't see the plan, they only see themselves. And with that,